All right, let's wrap things up by actually styling this content that has been identified and divvied up and all that good stuff. Let's use ID and class selectors, because in CSS the tags are not called tags, they're called selectors. And let's just go ahead and proceed. So here's our HTML from the last video. And here I have colorpicker.com. It's a really simple color picker. It's not quite as nice as the one we used in class the other day. But anyway, I'm going to use this to distinguish things one from the other. And here's our style sheet. So let's start off writing a pretty basic style. There's H1. This is a tag selector. H1 is a tag. So in that case, it is a tag selector. So we're going to say text color. And let's go over here. I'm going to pick something just gorgeous. And it's going to be £. You got to remember to put that £sign in there because some browsers won't read your color unless it has the £sign. And that's, once again, a hex code color for your text color. And we're going to say, we're going to end things there. All right, so if we go to index.html, there we go. We can see there's our style. Now let's say we want to style the, let's take a look at something we can style. Let's style the wrapper. Right now the wrapper, oh no, let's style the header. The header is in a div with the ID header. So there it is, div ID header. It contains the site title and the unordered list that is the navigation. In order to identify, I mean, I could just write style div, but that would affect every div. So I need to actually be more specific. I'm going to write £, header. And this is an ID selector. This is a, you always put a £sign before your ID name, and that way you're now talking only to the div called header. So let's give it a background color. And let's go back to our color picker. Something nice and light. And let's just save that and then go back to our, there we go. Now you can see the box that is the header div. Now everything that's inside the div called header with the ID of header has a green background. That's hunky-dory. Let's style another div that has a distinct ID. Let's look at main. In order to write that, we would write £, main. And I'm just going to do another background color. And there we go. So if we, there we go. Our main content, which contains the H2 and the P tag, that one bit of content in the main area, is now separated and blue. It's got a blue background. Let's go ahead and write, let's go back to the navigation. Let's look at the navigation in the HTML. First of all, the unordered list, the UL, has an ID of navigation. So I can, even though there will be other ULs, like unordered lists elsewhere in the page, like if I put another unordered list here, let me just write one very quickly inside the main div. I'm going to put in an unordered list. And I'll just put one line item. List item. I always do that. I'm sorry. This is a list. So let's just, there we go. There's our unordered list showing up now. Now, this one is not ID'd navigation. So when I go in and say £, navigation, stop that. Let's say text color Let's pick something nice and dark, but distinct. How about this nice army green? So if I go navigation, now this is turned green. Can't see that terribly well, but it's turned dark green on a green background, so it's going to be really hard to see. But you see that this list down here has not turned green. So let's go ahead. That's the advantage of an ID, so that you can pinpoint the same element, like the unordered list that is specifically named navigation, and you can leave all the other unordered lists alone. I'm just going to delete that because it's really hard to read. So let's just go back. All right, but let's talk about a class ID, class selector. We've got some unordered, in this unordered list, we've got some list items that have a class called unclicked. So let's style for that unclicked style, attribute class. And in order to delineate a class, I put a period and then immediately thereafter the name of the class. So unclicked. And let's see, I'm going to say color let's pick something that's going to be really bright. So let's go ahead and reload that. Oh, there you go. You can see it's vibrating. But you see that only the things inside the class of unclicked, those three elements, are turning red. So that's the difference. Once again, class for many, ID for one.